What if you woke up yesterday? Your coffee unpours itself into the cup. You brush toothpaste into the tube. And your toast? Somehow it's bread again. Time is no longer a straight line. It's a rewinding VHS tape. Your birthday moves further away. Your hair grows darker. And your dog? He's a puppy again. Cute, but confusing. But let's ask the big questions. Would we still age? Would death happen before birth? Could we remember the future? And is this even scientifically possible? This is what if time started moving backward. Let's start with a simple question that has stumped scientists and philosophers for centuries. What is time? No, really, what is it? We can feel it. We watch clocks tick, we age. We binge entire Netflix series. But time isn't something we can touch, it's not a thing. It's a dimension like length, width, and height. In physics, time is the fourth dimension. And in Einstein's theory of relativity, space and time are merged into one fabric, space-time. So when you move through space, you're also moving through time. And unlike space, where you can move forward, backward, or sideways, you can only move through time in one direction, forward. At least, so far. Let's say, just for fun, the universe suddenly throws it in reverse. Time starts moving backward. But what does that actually mean? Does gravity reverse? Does light start going into things instead of reflecting off them? Do we start speaking backward, like some cursed version of Twin Peaks? Well, sort of. Let's break it down. The reason we experience time moving forward has to do with one thing: entropy. Entropy is a fancy way of saying disorder. And according to the second law of thermodynamics, the universe always moves toward greater disorder. Ice melts. Buildings decay. You lose socks. Time's arrow points forward because entropy increases. So if time were to reverse, entropy would decrease. Broken glass would reassemble. Melted ice cream would leap back into the cone. Your bedroom would clean itself. But here's the kicker. Our brains also work according to entropy. Your memories? Built on increasing complexity in your neurons. So if entropy reversed, you'd forget everything that hadn't happened yet. In a reversed timeline, what feels like forward to us might actually be backward in the universal sense. So what if we still experience time as moving forward emotionally, but physically we were going backward? Would we remember the future instead of the past? Could you study for a test after taking it and still ace it? Could you apologize before you mess up? Unfortunately, no. Because memory depends on cause and effect neurons storing and retrieving data. If time moves backward, memory would too. You'd remember tomorrow's breakfast before you eat it. But by the time you finish it, you've already forgotten it. Confused? Good. You're not alone. Even Stephen Hawking once said, "The increase of disorder, or entropy, is what distinguishes the past from the future." Let's see how your life might play out if time ran in reverse. 7 a.m. Your alarm rings. Except it doesn't. It unrings. You sit up in bed, then lay back down, then somehow fall asleep while fully dressed. 8 a.m. Your morning coffee jumps from your mouth into the cup and back into the pot. You unchew your toast. Deliciously confusing. 9 a.m. You arrive home from work only to walk backward out the door, keys flying from your pocket into your hand. 12 p.m. Your emails unsend themselves. You unread important updates. You get a birthday message, then lose your birthday because now you're getting younger. In a backward-flowing universe, your cells don't age. They rejuvenate. Wrinkles smooth out. Hair regrows. You grow shorter, thinner, and eventually back into a teenager. Your teeth come back in. Your bones grow more flexible. Eventually, you become a baby. And then, you're just a bunch of dividing cells. Then, one cell. Then, non-existence. You die at the beginning. Let's explore how your daily life and society might function with time moving backward. Conversations happen. In reverse, you respond, then ask the question. Arguments are resolved before they begin. Breakups are followed by passionate love. You don't eat food, you regurgitate it, perfectly reconstructed. Music? It's unplayable. All the notes are reversed. Lyrics sound like demonic chanting. Your favorite movies? Start with the credits. Then everything gets ... worse. Could a society actually function this way? Honestly, no. Because economics, communication, even walking depends on cause and effect. In a world where time moves backward, you get paid before you work, you heal before you get injured, and you fall upward off cliffs. Physics just isn't designed for reverse logic. In fact, reversing time would likely break every law we know from gravity to thermodynamics, except for one. At the quantum level, things get strange. Subatomic particles like electrons don't care which direction time flows. Some equations work perfectly whether time is moving forward or backward. There's even a theory called CPT symmetry, which says if you reverse charge, parity, and time, the universe could still technically function. So somewhere deep in quantum space, time reversal might be possible. But for humans, let's just say, it wouldn't be pretty. So time's running in reverse, you're aging backward. You uneat breakfast, your job fires you before you mess up, and your breakup turns into a honeymoon. Now it's time to get even weirder. Let's rewind Earth's greatest events, wars, inventions, yes, your awkward middle school phase, and see what happens when all of history unravels in reverse. Let's start small. In reverse time, fires unburn forests, rain unfalls into clouds. Fallen empires rise from ashes only to politely hand over power and disappear. The Eiffel Tower debuilds itself and turns into piles of rivets and blueprints. World War II. And Hitler undies to become a failed painter. Millions rise from graves, bombs reassemble midair. The moon landing? Astronauts leap into space, boots first, and rocket backward to Earth. Basically, history doesn't just repeat itself. It plays backward like a glitchy documentary. And speaking of documentaries, dinosaurs? Yep, they come back. If time reversed far enough, evolution would too. Birds would become dinosaurs, humans would regress to apes, apes to lemurs, and eventually, Earth becomes a soup of single-celled organisms politely backing out of existence. You might witness ancient creatures resurrect, live backwards through extinction, and finally dissolve into genetic potential again. Fossils? Could you run into your older self from the past? Because future you would now be your past. And your past is heading toward you, except it's also your future. They unform, bones float up from rock, and the dino politely reassembles itself like a meaty puzzle. It's Jurassic Park, but directed by Christopher Nolan. Now here's a mind-bender. If time is moving backward, and you keep growing younger, actually, no, confused? Great. That means you're paying attention. Since then, everything has been expanding outward. In backward time, everyone is aging in reverse at the same speed. So no matter how fast you try to catch up to yourself, you're both unaging together. It's like racing in a mirror. You never win, but you look fabulous doing it. Let's go cosmic. In our current universe, the Big Bang happened 13.8 billion years ago. But in reverse time, that expansion becomes contraction. Galaxies rush toward each other. Stars unburn themselves into clouds of gas. Black holes spit out matter instead of pulling it in. Eventually, the entire universe collapses into a tiny singularity, not in a fiery explosion, but in a quiet rewind. And here is the wild part. Some physicists believe that this big crunch could be followed by another Big Bang, starting everything over again. Time would reverse again, and we'd be right back where we started. But this time, going forward. Okay, time to bring it back to science. Is backward time even remotely possible? In short, not really. But kinda. In our everyday world, Time only moves forward because of entropy, the increase of disorder. But on the quantum level, some particles don't seem to care which direction time flows. Some physical laws like Feynman diagrams or CPT symmetry don't break if time runs backward. There's even something called the Loschmidt paradox, which asks, why does time only go forward? If the laws of physics work both ways, it's like saying your spaghetti recipe works in reverse, but somehow we never see noodles uncook themselves. So technically, time reversal might be possible mathematically, but not practically. Now let's say, somehow, we cracked it. We invented a time switch, flip it, and time runs backward. Flip it again forward. Want to relive your childhood? Want to say sorry before you mess up? Want to dodge heartbreak, skip a funeral, or uneat gas station sushi? Just press the button. But here's the catch. You wouldn't remember any of it. Your brain would reverse too. Your memories would fade into nothing. You wouldn't be you anymore. Rewinding time might fix your mistakes, but it would erase everything that made you you in the first place. So maybe the mess of moving forward, regret, pain, aging is worth it, because it means we're still becoming something. Time feels like a river flowing downstream. But deep down, we all wish we could paddle backward, just for a moment, to fix things, to relive the good parts, to avoid the bad ones. But maybe the magic of time is that it only moves forward, because that's how we grow, how we learn, how we live. If time ran backward, you'd never change, you'd never improve, you'd never make mistakes or learn from them. You'd just rewind, over and over. And that's not living. That's just a loop. This was What If Time Started Moving Backward. And that's a story for another What If.